Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the past two trades that we've taken inside of the VIP group. So this video is going to give you real good insight into exactly how I trade, how I frame up my trades, and also send them into the VIP group. And if you're interested in joining, then click that link down in the description and you can become part of the community so you can take these trades with us. But the first trade we're going to take a look at is this Nasdaq buy limit that we took today itself at 10:45 this morning. So let me break this down for you inside of my Top Step account. And as you can see today, I made $916 and I'm currently up $1,395 on this brand new combine. Now I've passed 4 100K combines in the past month using this exact same strategy. So first and foremost, we have to identify where we are in terms of our range. So the first thing I like to do is wake up, come to the charts, take out my vertical line and place it at exactly midnight UK time, and that would be right there. And then I like to place it at 7 AM UK time. Now in between this time zone, I just want to identify where the highest point that the Asia session range reached was. And as we can see, that was right there. And then I want to identify the lowest point that the Asia session range reached, and that was right there. So once I've got my range high and my range low, what I'm then going to wait for is price to come and give us a nice sweep of either side of liquidity. So in this case, as you can see today, we actually got a sweep of the low. So we swept all of the liquidity to the downside. So now before we continue to look at what we are doing in trying to frame up a trade, we have to understand where we are in terms of our higher time frame structure. So coming up to the 4 hourly, we can see that NQ has been very bullish over the past few days, few weeks, and it has significantly been breaking new highs and finding new territory because it's been going into price discovery. So we have the understanding that price is very, very bullish. Even if we come on to the hourly, we can see that right here we've got a bullish fair value gap. Price is super bullish. We've had this sort of retracement to the downside. So what we're anticipating is that price is actually going to come and tap into some form of higher time frame interest. So here we can see that we've got this hourly fair value gap. If you guys do struggle with any of the concepts that I speak about in this video and you want to go into further detail, then I would highly recommend clicking that link down in the description to become part of the community where you can gain access to my full A to Z trading course. Now inside here, I talk about all of the complex matters such as market structure, liquidity, fair value gaps, order blocks. I break it all down in a nice and simple, efficient manner for you to be able to understand so that you can turn into that consistently profitable trader. Now, as you can see, price came and tapped directly into that hourly fair value gap, and then we had the reaction up, and that was the trade that we actually took. So first we have to identify our higher time frame bias and narrative and understand where our key areas of interest are. Once we've identified those, as we can see when we come back down to the 5-minute execution time frame, we understand that now price has given us a crazy sweep of the downside and it's tapped perfectly into that hourly fair value gap. Now, after we tapped into that hourly fair value gap, what happened? We started to create bullish structure. So we went from coming down bearish, putting in lower lows and lower highs and lower lows, to now creating internal structure, which is very, very bullish. Now, I wasn't ready to get into this trade until we had a 5-minute market structure shift. And for me, the most prominent high was right there. This would be considered our lower high. Therefore, in order for me to get into a trade, I need to break this lower high so that I know price is now looking to go bullish and given us a bullish market structure shift. Now, as we can see right here, we actually go ahead and get that market structure shift. And once we do, we can now start to look for an entry. Well, next I identified that there was a fair value gap right here, and this fair value gap is the one that actually gave us the market structure shift and caused structure to flip from bearish to bullish. So now it's highly likely that price is going to retrace back into this fair value gap and give us a continued push to the upside. So now it was very, very simple. We took our entry at the open of this fair value gap. We put our stops at the most prominent low, which in this case would be right here, because if we break below this low, that would invalidate the higher time frame trend of being bullish, and it would give us a lower time frame trend of continuing with a bearish stance. So based off of that, our stop losses went right there. And then we put our TP at the next point of liquidity, which was at the highest point of the Asian session range. As you can see, that was the most perfect take profit, which just clipped our TP, and then price decided to go the opposite direction. This is why your exit is just as important as your entry, because if you do not time your exit or you try to take profits at random areas, 9 times out of 10 price is going to reverse on you because it always moves from liquidity to liquidity. We came down and we took all of the liquidity that was inside of this inefficiency, this fair value gap, and then we ran straight towards the other side, which was the liquidity that was left above the Asia range. And as soon as we took that, price then continued its bearish movement down. So now if we go back up to the hourly, we can see that price is still heavily bullish, and we have another fair value gap all the way down here. So come tomorrow morning, if we have the exact same setup play out, where we have a build-up of the Asia session such as this, we sweep the lows and we tap into this hourly fair value gap, then I'm going to look for the exact same setup and target the Asia highs the same as we done today. Now this strategy is literally a rinse and repeat. You have a set of actionable steps and you just follow those every single day. You do that and I guarantee you will make money. So this was the NAS trade that we actually took this morning. So now if we go back to the VIP Discord, and again, if you guys want to get access to my trade setups, if you want to get access to my full A to Z trading course, daily trade setups, futures live streams that I do every single day, picture trade ideas with updates, weekly, end of week market outlooks, live trading webinars, and a full support system to build you into that consistently profitable trader, then I would highly recommend that you click that link down in the description and it will take you to my VIP group where you can become part of the community and take these trades with us. So the second trade that we're going to be taking a look at is the trade that we took just before this NAS, which was a US 30 buy limit. This was on the 11th. So if we come over to the charts and I go ahead and replay this, we can take it back just like this. And now on TradingView, I actually use an indicator called the Asia Session Range by Rob Minty. Now all this does is simply just highlight the highest point of the Asia Session Range and the lowest point with this nice blue box. Now you don't need to use an indicator, you can manually mark it out yourself, but I use an indicator for convenience. If you cannot configure the indicator yourself, it's not a convenience and you should mark it out yourself. Don't rely on an indicator, only rely on an indicator if it makes your life convenient. So now once we've got our Asia high and Asia low, we just come up to the higher time frames to quickly take a look at what's happening with the higher time frames trend. So coming up to the daily, we can very clearly see that we are heavily bullish. We've just put in this higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and now by the looks of it, we're putting in a higher low, and then from there we should get a continuation higher. Now, as we can see, if we look to the left, we've also got this massive fair value gap that price has just tapped into. So now that we understand price is bullish and we're tapping into a daily fair value gap, that lets us know that we can safely look for buying positions, because if we get a buy, it's in line with the higher time frame trend. And as they always say, the trend is your friend. So if I now play price on, we can see that we get the sweep of the Asia low. So now we don't do nothing until we get that market structure shift, which is price indicating to us that it actually wants to go higher. At the moment, it's just creating a series of bearish structure, so we don't actually want to get involved in this trade. So let's take a look at what's going on. We've got higher low, higher high, and then this entire leg to the downside for me would be one entire move. Therefore, this is our lower high, and then this is now my lower low. Therefore, in order for me to get a market structure shift, I need to see price go ahead and break this high right here, because if it breaks that high, then I can safely assume price wants to go higher because it's given us a shift in market structure. So now we wait for price to come ahead and give us that market structure shift, and as we can see, it does that right there. So now we've gone from putting in bearish structure from lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, to now putting in this brand new higher high. So from here we can see a higher low and then a continuation higher. So now we identify our fair value gap, which gave us that market structure shift, exactly the same as the trade we saw previously on NAS. We take our entry at the open of that fair value gap, we put our stops just below the most prominent low, and for me that would be right there, because if we break below this low, that would mean that we've now invalidated the trend and we're going to continue bearish. So based off of that, stops go just below the most prominent low, and we simply target the opposing liquidity, which in this case would be the Asia highs, and the trade was just like this. Once all of that is done, we wait for price to come and tap us back in. Nearly takes us out right there, but again, we made sure we understood where the most prominent low was, so we were safely in this trade, and then from there, price just absolutely rockets. It's as simple as that. All the steps are there, they're very actionable, and all you have to do is follow the checklist. You identify the Asia session range, and we don't care what's happening in between. We identify what our higher time frame trend is. We wait for a sweep in line with our higher time frame trend, wait for a 5-minute market structure shift. Once we've got that, we identify the fair value gap or the inefficiency that gave us the market structure shift, entry at the open, stops go above the high, and we target the opposing liquidity, which is the Asia lows. Nice and simple, replicatable, and you can literally do this every single day. And as I've said, I've done this every single day. I send the trades into the VIP group, near enough every single day, and we hit take profits, same as this. So again, if you do want to become part of the community, click that link down in the description, and I'll see you on the inside. But if you did get value from this video, then let me know by dropping a like, comment, and subscribe. But on that note, I'll catch you guys in the next video.